What is going on, garden fans? Welcome back to the Permaculture Homestead. I am at the project site today putting some finishing touches on this place for the statewide agriculture and art tours that we are going to be a part of next week. That is May the 30th, 2026. The statewide ag and art tours is hosted by the Clemson Agricultural Extension. Basically, they go to a different county every weekend, and farms in the local area end up opening their doors so that people can come out and see what they're doing, what they're growing, what they're doing. Next week out here, we're going to have food carts, we're going to have live music, and then local homestead vendors are going to be out here selling what they make and own and grow and all of that. Today, I'm getting the place set up a little bit more. Looks great out here. I've done a whole bunch of chopping and dropping over the past couple of weeks. We're throwing down a good layer of wood chips to make it easy for people to get around. But next week, May the 30th, 2026, I'm going to be out here doing tours all day. Probably about every 20 to 30 minutes, I'm going to be walking people around this site and just doing a little intro to permaculture. A little educational course kind of showing and telling people what's possible here in Zone 8, South Carolina. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe this video. We're going to do a full tour of this place beforehand to just give you a sneak peek before we get out here next week and do the live tours. As always, garden fans, we appreciate you coming by to check it out. Please like, share, and subscribe, and come on back. Enjoy the journey. Welcome back to the project site, garden fans. I'm going to go ahead and do a full walking tour of this place. There is a lot going on at this time of the year. It is May 2026 here in Zone 8, South Carolina, and we are kind of prepping up for the growing season and for some tours that we have going on next week. If you do decide to come out next week to see the tours, of course, we're going to be doing a plant and vegetable sale. We have all types of things ready to go. Jujube, looks like they got some tomatoes here. More tomato, squash. Here we have a whole bunch of hazelnuts, runners that have been pulled up and potted on. Lots of hazelnuts coming on. Further on down the line here, have things like figs. Looks like peaches. We have elderberry, blackberry growing here. Yeah, a lot of blackberries that have been pulled up and potted on. Blackberry runners, and then roses. Just kind of roses that grow well out here. There's also a lot of plants up front, so definitely doing a plant sale next week. Come on out and check it out. The veggie garden looking great this year. Tracy, who usually runs and manages this, is doing a great job. Love the new comb-free border that was added kind of as a rhizome barrier to keep the grass from coming in too much, but also providing some pollination and some biomass here to help mulch the vegetable garden. They got onions out here seeding. Walking onions, they got peppers, they got eggplant, they got tomatoes growing right now. I see some cucumber growing, some zucchini, a lot of things growing on out here. Most of it is just starting out here for spring, but definitely a lot of zucchini, squash, eggplant, peppers, tomatoes is all growing up right now, and you will see that next week if you do come on out. The food forest itself looking great. The last couple of weeks I've been doing a bit of a chop and drop, kind of getting the place prepped up and set up. This tree right here is a catawba tree, local native tree. Puts on a big giant bean pod. It's a home to a worm, a silkworm of types that people use to go fishing with. So that is commonly called the fish tree. It grows fish. Getting to the main crop food forest, garden fans, I'm going to go ahead and do a full walk about this food forest, so buckle up and get ready. A lot of really interesting, cool things going on as we are prepping up for the bulk of the growing season. Crepe myrtle here, providing some pollination late in the summer. And here we have a whole companion planting here layered. So the layer starts with pawpaws on the downhill slope. We have figs next, planted on our swale mound. We have blueberries as an understory to the figs and also to the mayhaw trees behind it. So quite a lot of things growing here. Mayhaw, blueberry, figs, and pawpaw. We also have gummy berry out here as our nitrogen fixation. Some of the understory crops are mint, and asparagus that are growing up, ferning up right now. The blueberries are starting to turn color. They're going to be ready here. Some of these varieties will be ready by next week. Some will be a little later in the season, but all of the blueberries are absolutely loaded down. This is one of the best years for blueberries. I keep coming out here and pruning them and shaping them up. They are looking great. Some of the figs are putting on right now. A lot of figs coming on the tree. This is going to be one of the most productive years for figs out here. They're finally getting to that point where they are big and being able to sustain a lot more fruit. Here's one of those goomy berry I was talking about, a chop and drop sacrificial mulch plant that is mulching the pawpaws here. And we got a nice row of pawpaw kind of on the downhill slide here at the bottom of the farm. And they're putting on some pawpaws this year. Looking good. They've kind of cleaned it out, brushed it out from under here. From all the chop and drop that we had down. Some of the native edibles we're allowing to grow is winged sumac. This puts on a very colorful red drupe in the fall, and it is edible. People make the Indians made a lemonade drink with that drupe. Got a little hedge of elderberry here coming up to flower on that same place where the blueberries are. Looks like we're going to start spreading that blueberry patch, just start moving that blueberry patch down. Here we have a local native plum variety, a Chickasaw plum, and we have quite a few of these here in a little patch. We have 1, 2, 3, and then 4 Chickasaw plums with 1 mayhaw here kind of growing in the canopy of all those plums. Well, I'm going to step it up and over a big swale mound here. You get a little lower here to kind of show you the elevation and the ditch that we have dug here, this swale, this trench on contour to help catch water as it comes down the hill. Not sure you can get a good idea of the elevation here, but this is a slightly graded hillside. I'm under the canopy of these Chickasaw plums, and they are putting on so much fruit. They're dropping fruit. There's so much fruit on here. Also on this patty we have jujube, another one of the major main crops. Jujube have been very successful out here and very productive, putting on loads of fruit this year. Yeah, these jujube are going to be very productive. They're getting into their heavy production state. Some of the ground covers further up the hill, we have yarrow growing, vetch, clover, and then just a lot of annual weeds that come up that we allow to grow. Things like the goldenrod are growing. Here, pomegranate still flowering right now. Looking beautiful. Beautiful time of year. We got this one even putting on some small fruits right now. Those aren't going to be ready till fall. Not too far away from that, a Japanese persimmon that I've kind of drawn up the canopy some, allow for some airflow to come between here. Since doing that, a lot of the comfrey that was planted at the base of it is now getting a little more sun, and now it can start poking up and being, it's a nutrient accumulator that it is. Here is a persimmon, Japanese persimmon, won't be ready till fall, but this guy is already starting to load up here with fruit. Japanese persimmon are not as astringent as American persimmon. You can basically pick them at any time and they will be nice and sweet. Here is another jujube right here. Most of the jujube trees out here, garden fans, are starting to get about 15-20 feet tall. So the next thing they're going to start doing is bushing out and thickening up just a touch. But more jujube right here, jujube. They have a little hedge of pineapple guava next to that jujube. Here is another trench dug on contour as a means to gather and stop water from coming down the hill, from basically racing down the hill. We also have a water storage at the top of the hill, which you'll see when I get up there, and we just kind of drip irrigate or fill up a lot of the trenches with that stored water at the top of the hill. Another pomegranate here, absolutely loaded down with fruit this year. Loaded down. Everything out here is absolutely loaded, garden fans. This is going to be one of the most productive years. About year 8.5, 8, 9 is where we're at right now. All the jujube have set fruit or have flowered and are now setting fruit. Beautiful plants. Let me go up to the top swale, patty, and mound here. Real thick. All of the mulching, all of the clippings that I use is all used as chop and drop to help define our swale mounds. Just a way for me to kind of solidify them in the landscape as a permanent element. Here at the top of the hill, we have most of our nut trees, starting out with a hazelnut pear right here. This is a hazelnut crossed with a filbert. Beautiful tree, beautiful plant. Great as a windbreak. More pomegranate. Here's hazelnut starting to set some nuts. This is a great windbreak tree, and it puts on a great amount of nut every year for us. Making hazelnut butter is one of my favorite things to do. Kind of grab these nuts out, mix in a little oil and salt, and grind them all up to make a good hazelnut butter. But these guys are loving life in the middle of our swale paddy, and here is the swale mound. Here is one casualty we had this year, a cherry tree, which, honestly, not too upset about. I kind of knew that cherries would not be really good out here in South Carolina. We don't often get enough chilling hours, and you can see the fungi already starting to take it over and turn it back into dust. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And when this is finally all the way gone, we'll be able to put something else in its place here. Still hadn't decided what's going here quite yet. Maybe some more hazelnuts. It'd be nice to spread those hazelnuts some. It's a great tree, great plant. Another jujube here. Here is another hawthorn tree, basically here for flowering, for pollination, cross-pollination to the mayhaws. But the hawthorn itself is going to put on some small, fairly edible fruits. It's more for wildlife, honestly. Another jujube tree here. Not far from that jujube, we have our first pecan, big tall nut tree. And all of the pecans that we have growing here have catkinned, and this may be the year that we actually get some fruit, or nuts basically, off of our pecan trees. More pineapple guava. All the pineapple guava are flowering. The flowers on this are edible. Tastes like candy, nice sugary candied taste. I'm circling back around to kind of follow that hazelnut hedge here. Kind of leads up to a giant Chinese chestnut, and this tree is large, getting very big. It has catkinned. It has littered the ground with all of its catkins. So this is going to be one of the most productive years for this tree, with how many catkins it has already put on and dropped. Very productive tree. I'm really starting to like Chinese chestnut. They are pest and disease tolerant here in South Carolina. Really great tree, honestly. And this is going to be a permanent fixture in this landscape. This is going to be here about 70 years. It's getting big, it's getting thick, and of course all the companions under it. Comfrey, and it does have its own nitrogen fixing Elaeagnus right next to it that we keep pruned down to a very small shrub-like state. Let me circle back around. It's thick out here, garden fans. It's a little muggy. We got a little bit of rain overnight, and it definitely feels a little humid, more humid in the canopy here than outside the canopy. So definitely some microclimates starting to form in this food forest. Took a while, but here we are. Here is a plum, an Ozark plum. It is definitely setting fruit, lots of fruit, dropping fruit. It's so ready. Oh yeah, that's great. That is thick, that is juicy, that is filled with water. It's right close to our water catchment here, so it's very easy to kind of water this trench that's right behind it. The tree itself, thick, very thick tree. I mean, this is about maxed out for height. I think over the next couple years it's going to thicken up, and that's about it. But real juicy, yummy plums it's dropping right now. Ozark plum. We have a pollinator mulberry here to help kind of pollinate the other mulberries on site. Here is another chop and drop, Elaeagnus multifloria, right next to a pecan tree. And once again, all the pecans here have catkinned. How many pecans we actually get is up for debate, but we will see. This is actually the first year I saw them put any catkins on, so we'll see how productive they are year one. In this canopy here on our swale mound, we've got more elderberry growing, and I'm kind of using elderberry on these mounds here to once again help solidify it into place. As I chop and drop the elderberry, we're kind of building up the mound here. Let me step out into the open. Here is an Asian pear, pineapple pear, growing, looking great, ready to roll. Pears and many rosacea plants in South Carolina are very prone to blight. This one's got a little fire blight on it. I can see it right there. One next to it also has a little fire blight on it. It's just bound to happen. We live in a humid, muggy environment. I've learned over the years that rosacea family plants are just prone to blight no matter what. You can't prevent it out here in South Carolina. So your best bet is just to grow something different that you don't have to put so much time and effort into. More Elaeagnus, multifloria, putting on loads of fruit. Every one of them out here is fruiting. Lots of stuff. All-in-one almond right here, still alive. This one has been grafted multiple times with a few different grafts. It's interesting to see how it's going through its life cycle right now. Seems like some of those grafts have died while others have really taken charge. So I'm curious to see what this tree looks like in another year or two. Might get some almonds out here at some point. Mulberry trees all around me are loaded down. Here's a mulberry, was putting on fruit. It's gotten pruned down a little bit more. I came through and did a rough pruning, and they've come in behind me and smoothed everything out and painted over it. So kind of protecting the tree from mold, mildew, all of that. Here is another Chinese chestnut right next to this mulberry. So we have a mulberry, a Chinese chestnut, and right next to that is a Florida maple as a companion plant. This Chinese chestnut is right now catkinning out. Great cross-pollinator for the other one. And once again, just a great tree in general. Love Chinese chestnuts. Here we have another plum tree. More mulberry, loquat. Another mulberry right here. Here's some more elderberry popping up. As an understory, there are blackberries all over the place. Understory stuff. Yeah, most of the understory has been getting cleaned out and wood chipped. You can see the process of us getting some wood chips down. We had alpine strawberries that have spread all over the place as a ground cover, and I am happy to see that spreading. Once again, we've kind of pruned, lifted the canopy, made it a little more friendly for airflow and for people to kind of walk around and walk under all these trees. Here is the other Japanese persimmon at the top of the hill, separated by some space just to reduce any pest pressure. And I'm going to back up, garden fans, just kind of give you a broad look at the place. The whole place looking thick, looking dense. It's exactly what I imagined and pictured it to be. I cannot wait to do something like this on a larger scale. Maybe something like 15, 20 acres. It's coming, garden fans, I promise. Keep in touch. Once again, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. I got some secrets I've been keeping from you all that you're going to hear about this season. Big moves, big secrets, big things happening this year that I want you all to be a part of. Please subscribe so you can be a part of it. Your subscription really helps us out. If we could reach 100,000 subscribers, I will be able to get some equipment sponsors. People that will sponsor the channel and give us equipment that we're going to need for the next phase of the permaculture homestead. Anyway, garden fans, please come out next week. I would love to see you. May the 30th, all day, 8 to 4 o'clock, I believe, 9 to 4 o'clock. Come on out and check us out and come check out this food forest. Appreciate you all coming out as always. We'll see you next time. God bless.